that was fun. Ha ha ha. Anybody on yet? Hey everybody. Anybody? No? Not on? It's not live? Hey, if anyone's there, send an emoji. Let's try this again. Sorry about that, some technical stuff. Okay, there's a few of you who are coming back online. Good morning. So I'm going to start off today's class with some reading from the book The Great Within by somebody, Christian Larson. And it applies. It applies to today. It was written in 1907. So it's kind of interesting. For me, it's interesting. No undesirable feeling should ever be permitted. No wrong idea should ever be given in thought. Nor should one ever think seriously, feelingly, or sympathetically about wrong in any shape or form. To think feelingly about wrong is to impress wrong upon the subconscious mind. It is to sow undesirable seeds in the garden of the mind, and a harvest of weeds, sickness, trouble, and want will be the result. Good thoughts, deeply felt, will bring health, happiness, harmony, peace, power, ability, character. Wrong thoughts, deeply felt, will bring discord, depression, fear, sickness, weakness, and failure. Now this was written in 1907, so he uses the words good and wrong, and good and bad, and right and wrong. If I was to write this today, I wouldn't say wrong thoughts, I'd say fearful thoughts, deeply felt, will bring discord, depression, more fear, sickness, weakness, and failure. Weakness in body, like as in you don't want to be weak in these days right now. To properly impress the subconscious at all times, it is therefore necessary to train the mind to think only of those things that one desires to realize. And what one does not wish to meet in personal experience should never be given a single moment of thought. Well, if you're watching the news, you're watching things that you really don't want to give any time to because it's going to impress you. What we mentally feel, we invariably impress upon the subconscious mind. And there is a tendency to mentally feel every thought that is given prolonged or serious attention. To think about that which we do not want is to impress upon the subconscious mind what we do not wish to impress. And as every impression produces a corresponding expression, we will thereby receive the very things we desire to avoid. Well, I got to stay up on current events. No, you do not. You have enough friends in your life and enough family in your life that'll help you do that without you ever picking up a newspaper, turning on the news, listening to the news, even if it's, oh, but I listen to NPR, I'm elevated. No, they're talking about the same thing. Whatever you inundate yourself with, which is going to be that which you think about, and that which you think about, you're going to start to feel, and the feeling is what impresses the subconscious mind. Now it's in your autonomic nervous system, and you bought it, and you own it. Now there's fear. Anything from the news is fear. So stop watching. That's my recommendation. It's too bad you're not here and we can't have a conversation. So instead, what you're going to do is you're going to Put in mind something that you want, something you desire, something you hope for, you wish for, you dream of. You use your imagination to bring forth that which you desire. Okay? Close your eyes. Close your eyes, get yourself comfortable, situated. Begin breathing, and breathe through the nose as often as you can, not only in yoga but throughout your day. It's settling. It's calming. It activates that part of the autonomic nervous system that relaxes you. That's why it's called the relaxation response. Let everything drift away. Roll off of your shoulders. As you go to that happy place inside. Feel those uplifted feelings. And be right there now. Create an internal environment that is so much more strong and more powerful than the external environment around you. So that you have full control of all of your faculties, your thoughts, your feelings, and therefore your state of being. Be that which you were designed to be. But you have to do it yourself. It cannot be conferred upon you. You have to do the work. So bring that happiness to mind. Feel that happiness. When you're first learning to do this, you call upon memories. But as you become adept at just feeling elevated, you call upon future memories and therefore create. Get to the place inside where you love being. It feels so good, you don't want to even break out of this to start moving. Be so totally present that you are right where you are in a happy place, in a happy state of mind. And the body feels good, the body feels elevated, it feels happy. Now, whatever elevated emotion and attendant thoughts that you are putting out there, give thanks for them as though they've already occurred. Gratitude is the ultimate signature of receivership. So if you're feeling gratitude for that which you just put out there, it's coming into your life at some point because you already created it. Sit taller. Lift up through the sternum and lower your chin. Let your head hang. Move your shoulders back. Now drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Come back through center, left ear to your left shoulder. And move in that half circle. Come into a full rotation. Open up not only the neck, but the thoracic spine. So you're moving more than just the neck and head. It's almost like you're doing a cat-cow in a circle. Reverse direction. And then come back to center and take your right arm, reach it up. Take your left hand down right next to you, the left of the left hip. I gotta stop mirroring because it doesn't work on TV. Okay. So right arm is reaching up, and then reach over towards the left. Reach your right hip down and stretch out through the lower right side of your torso. Take your left hand and walk it away from your hip. Lift up now through your sternum. Turn and look upwards with the torso, not just your head. And then come on back up. Sit up tall. Take your left arm, reach it up. Right hand to the outside of the right hip. And then just lean a little bit over to your right side. Reach the left glute down. Try to create convex shape on the left side of your torso. Reach to those fingertips, straighten that right or that left arm. Take the left hand out away from your left hip. And go a little deeper. Engage that left tricep so that the arm straightens out even more. Open up towards the ceiling. Lift the sternum. Come on up. Roll your shoulders. Do some seated spinal waves. Moving as much as you can, exaggerate. Inhaling as you go into the cow, the back bend. Exhaling as you round the spine, coming into flexion, opening up into extension. On the in-breath, closing and rounding and flexion on the exhale. Now get your arms involved. Make this a vinyasa. You're moving with your breath. Take a look at what I'm doing with my hands when I bring them together. Clasping them, you're turning them, interspiraling the arms and the shoulders. Right arm goes over one time, the left arm goes on top the second time. And then sit up tall and roll your shoulders once again. Take your right arm and circle it back. And then your left arm. And then cross. Give yourself a quick hug, but stay away because there's 6 foot distance here. You can't get any closer than this. Okay, so I'm the only one who thought that was funny. Okay. All right, so roll your shoulders once again and reach your shoulders down. Lift the sternum. Take your hands back behind you. Back bend through the thoracic spine. So you're looking forward but up a little bit, perhaps where the ceiling meets the wall in front of you. Lift up, start to look up more. You're looking up at the ceiling. You can plant the palms down if you haven't already. You can look straight up if your neck permits. You can also lift your hips right up off the floor. And then come back down and come into a forward bend. So take your hands forward, breaking your descent, and then start to move from side to side. See if you can go over to one leg. Bring the torso over that leg. And then same on the other side. And then roll forward, come into table pose. You have a blanket? Yahoo! Come onto your knees. And your hands, tops of the feet are down. Just do a couple of spinal waves here. And then take your right leg back behind you. The knee is bent, you're at 90 degrees. And then take the leg out to the right. And then underneath. And then back behind you. You're creating that circle. And try to keep your right hip from lifting up. So keep your hips closed to the floor. And just rotate that femur head in the acetabulum. So the top of the femur bone in the hip socket is what I said. And I like the word acetabulum. Sounds so cool. Keep circling. And then set it down. And then come to the other side. Take that left leg back up behind you, open it up. Close it, and again, keep the left hip closed as best you can. Breathe slowly. And then set it down. Come sideways on your mat. So turn to the side so that your knees can go wide. And you can still keep your knees on the mat. If you have two blankets, put a blanket underneath each knee. We're going to come down onto our forearms and come into frog pose. In this pose, you do not just stay where you come down. You're going to move forward as far as you can. You're going to move back as far as you can. As far as your feet go, you can have the bottoms of your feet fully touching, or you can have just the tips of the toes touching. Or you can have your shins, your lower legs, going straight back from your knees. So whatever position you want to get in, do that, but keep moving. Now you're going to want to stop when it gets real tight. Go just a little bit more, a 1/4 of an inch if you can. That's where you're getting the stretch. Notice when you move forward and back, if your hips lift up quite a bit in order to move. And if they do, it's just a flexibility issue thing. Now, go to the position in this pose where you feel pretty tight and hang out there. And then pulse. So you're not moving fast. You're moving slow, like 1/8 of an inch forward and 1/8 of an inch back. You're not moving much at all. You're almost staying in the same spot. Just a little pulsing going on. And now come back up onto your hands and try to get your knees together. And then once you do, shake out one leg behind you and then the other behind you and sit back on your heels, but curl your toes underneath. And then walk your knees back so that your toes curl even more. And then see if you can bring your torso vertical. Forecast is light today, but I think clouds. Sit back even more if you can. Feel that stretch in the toes. Move your hips from side to side. And then come forward onto your hands. If you don't feel this, you could probably stay back there, but if your toes are talking to you, lift your feet up and move your toes. Now come back down, but this time extend the toes behind you so you are on the tops of the feet. And gently move from side to side. Okay. Come forward again onto your hands. Curl your toes. Come up off your knees, come into a squat. You're not in Malasana, so the feet are not wide. The feet are fairly close together like in Tadasana or mountain pose. And then if you can balance, otherwise keep your fingertips down. And you can kind of rest on your forearms if you want, or you can bring your torso vertical. Your knees will drop down a little bit. Lift your heels up, lower your heels. Lift them again and lower them. And if it's easier to keep your fingers touching, feel free to do that. Now come into a forward bend. Feel free to keep your knees bent, especially if you're feeling tight right now from that squat. But start to walk in place. Lift one heel, lowering the other. It's a slow stroll that you're creating here. See if you can start straightening the leg that you put the heel down and holding that. And then switch, straighten the other leg. Now straighten both legs if you can, or at least drop the heels. If you want, you can have bent knees. You can straighten the legs. Pick your toes up. Take your fingers and separate your toes, especially the fourth and fifth toes. Now if you have bunions, pull the big toes towards each other. Now, keep the toes lifted. Your arches should be lifted somewhat, just because you're lifting your toes. You're going to keep your arches lifted, but set your toes down. Do not let your arch collapse. Lift your toes again. Set them back down. Lift them up. Soften your knees. Set your toes down. Begin to roll all the way up. And come up to a standing position in your mountain pose, Tadasana. So, work your Tadasana. Bring those shoulders back. Make sure your hips do not go forward. Keep your hips over your knees and your knees over your heels. Lift up through the sternum. Remember, the shoulders are not only moving back, but they're outer spiraling, which will kind of want to make sure your hands turn forward and even outwardly. You don't have to do that with the hands, but it helps. Take your arms up overhead. And then release them back down. You're going to touch your palms and your fingers together. Your breath, you're inhaling as you raise the arms up overhead. You're exhaling as you release the arms back down. Keep moving. And releasing back down. You take the energy from the earth, you lift it up, you allow it to pour down upon you. Then you take the energy from the heavens and you pull it down. You pull the energy from the earth up. You pull the energy from the heavens down. And you are the conduit. You are the maker of this. Next time we bring our arms up overhead, we're going to come into a half forward bend. Now stay there. Arms are outreached out to the sides. Legs are straight. Now work that spine. Back bend if you can. Lift your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift your sits bones. Now exhaling, release all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release. Bring it up again. Release it down. Bring it up halfway and hold. Now the hands are not pressing into the fronts of the legs. They're just touching. So you're using back muscles. Bring your shoulder blades together more. Lift your upper torso. Release on the exhale. Soften the knees and roll all the way up. Once you're up, take the arms up overhead, clasp your hands and push your palms up towards the ceiling. Straighten the arms. Move the arms back. Pull your ribs in towards your hips. Lift your toes. Release. Roll your shoulders. Take your arms out to the sides and take your right arm on top of your left arm. Coming into eagle arms. Now, take your left leg and lift it up and place it on top of your right, bending your right knee, coming into eagle legs. Deepen. So, bend the knee, standing right leg more. Reach the hips back. The back is still flat. The alignment of the spine is still integrous. Now release the arms. Stand up, reach up, look up. Palms together down in front. Release the arms. Arms out to the sides. What do we have on top? So left arm is going to go on top this time. This time we'll approach it a little differently. Start to bend the knees. Take the right knee and place it on top of the left knee. Deepen. Squatting more. Hips go back. Torso leans forward more. But you still maintain the lines of the spine. Now release the arms. Open up. Look up. Forward bend. Come into a plank pose. Lower your knees. Lower your chin and chest and then hips. And then come into Shalabhasana. I don't know if you can see me. So reach your arms back. Take your hands above your hips. Lift your head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Back of the neck is long. It's not cranking. You're not looking forward. You're looking down and forward a little bit. Bring the shoulder blades together. Take your hand, touch the fingertips right underneath the forehead. Lift those elbows. Lift the legs up. Take your hands down to the outside of your chest and come into child's pose. Come into table, extended table. Reach back towards child's pose. Come forward. Drop the hips into a cobra. Reach back. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Again, open it up. Now stay here. And gently move from side to side. And then reach back, round that lower back. And then come forward, stepping your left foot forward. Raise the arms up, coming into Anjaneyasana. And take the right elbow to the outside of that left thigh. Left palm to right palm. Now raise that left elbow. Stack the elbows. And then lift the sternum. Torso is not resting or leaning on that thigh. Now lift your sternum. Press into the hands. Twisting even deeper. And release. And reach up. Now, straighten the front leg. Take your hands down. Bottom of the foot is down. Point the toes forward. Release down as far as you can. Try to straighten the leg. And then take the foot and reach the toes up towards the ceiling. Now from here, come on back up. Take that right leg, that left leg out to the left. So the toes are pointed forward. You're in gate pose. Take the left hand and lightly on the outside of the left leg. Right arm raises up. Reach over towards your left. You may notice, like me, that you're tight this way. So what I normally do is I'll take my left hand, grab my right wrist, and just make my left arm heavy. This is if you're really tight. If you're not, you can lean quite a bit more. Come on back up. And release the arms, bring the leg back in. Settle back into a child's pose. Come forward, stepping the right foot forward. Raising the arms up overhead. Look up. Exhale into your twist. Palm to palm. Raise that right elbow above the left, stacking them. Stack your shoulders. Press the right hand into the left. And now lift your sternum. And release upwards. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Come into that forward bend. Press the ball of that foot down to your mat. Straighten the knee as best you can. And then point the toes skyward. And then come on back up, bring that foot in, take it out to the left or to the right. Take your right foot out to the right. Right hand is on the outside, left arm is reaching up, and then lean over to your right. And again, if you want, you can grab that wrist, let the right arm get heavy. Bring the knee in and sit down on the tops of your feet. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Move your hips. Scoot over to the left of your mat. I am so used to mirroring that I now have to think what to say here. Drop your hips to the right. Take your left foot and cross it over. Take your right foot, kick it forward, move it forward a little bit so it's not underneath your left glute. Let that left glute descend. Clasp your hands, take it to the outside of that left knee, and pull the knee towards your right shoulder. And now sit up tall. When I say sit up tall, you're really bringing your low back forward. So you're not rounding. How's everybody doing out there? Really? Take your right arm, wrap the arm, grab the right wrist, Doing the same thing, now you got more muscle to employ, and you're pulling that knee over towards the right shoulder even more so. Now take your left arm, reach it forward, reach it up. Turn the torso as you reach it back behind you. Place it on your mat, fingers pointing away from you, and twist to your left. Come on back to center. So we'll go into the other side of this in a way that I always used to do. Someone showed me recently again. So we're going to take your hands to the right. Actually, just watch. If you don't know how to do this, just watch, and then I'll do it, and then I'll come back and do it with you again. Hands are to the right. Feet stay exactly where they are. I'm going to lean into my hands and lift my hips. I'm going to walk behind me, put my hands now onto the left side, and now I'm perfectly set up for the other side. Okay? So if you want to do this with me, if you haven't done this, hands go to the mat on the right-hand side, lean into it, lift the hips, feet stay where they are. Your hands go behind you. They find the left side of your mat. You now start to sit down, and you are right here. So your left thigh should be parallel to the left side of your mat. Your hands are pulling that knee in towards your left shoulder. Wasn't that the most fun thing you've done? The audience is going wild. I don't make myself smile or laugh. This is very dry otherwise. Take your left arm and wrap it. Grab your left wrist. Sit up tall. Bring that lower back forward so you can feel a stretch in the outer right glute area. Take your right arm, reach it forward, lift it up overhead, turn, open, twisting. Place the hand and accentuate that twist even more. Keep twisting. Press that right foot down, stronger. Press it down and away from you. And then come on back, front and center. Unwind. Take your legs forward. Shake them out and massage them if you need to. God, I must be having fun. Time is flying. All right, lift up through the sternum. Sit tall. See if you can bring your shoulders right over your hips. So for some of you, you're going to have to unround. And if you're flexible, you're actually going to lean back a little bit so that you're actually vertical. Press your knees down if you can. Toes are straight up at 12 o'clock. Spread your toes. Take the inside edges of your feet and press them towards the screen you're looking at. Press them away from you. That will take the outside edges and pull them towards you. Spread those toes once again. Now your feet are going to want to do this. It's not what you're doing. Your toes are at 12 o'clock. They remain at 12 o'clock. Press your knees down. Keep pressing the inside edges away. The outside edges of the feet are pulling towards you. Lift up through the sternum. Take your arms and reach them up. Now, take your shoulders up to your ears and then move your shoulders back down. Lift your sternum. Low back comes forward. And then come into a forward bend and just hang out here. Work your forward bend. I usually roll on my sits bones from side to side. Now roll up. Come on onto your feet. And then turn sideways on your mat if you're not already. Step your feet wide. Turn your left foot out. Take a look. Line them up. The left heel bisects the right foot. That right hip probably went forward a little bit. Bring it back. Float your arms. Look above and beyond your left fingertips. Bend your left knee. Now take a look. Are you right where you want to be? Knee relative to ankle. Now, lift up the sternum. You're standing tall. You're not leaning. You're standing tall. We're looking above and beyond the fingertips. And you're right here, right now. See if you can see the aura coming off of your fingertips. Come into a peaceful warrior. Left arm raises, right arm lowers. Back into your warrior two. Peaceful warrior again. Into your Parshvottanasana. Forearm comes to the thigh. Top arm reaches up, either straight up or over towards the top of your head, front of your mat. You create a straight line. Straighten that arm even more. Engage that tricep so you feel it in that right arm. Take your left arm and reach it so that it's in front of your eyesight. Now reach it in the same direction as the top arm. Place it back. Place the forearm back onto the thigh. Take the top arm and reach it behind the low back and reach for your left thigh. Now you may not get it. You may not even get close. Then if you can, look up. Now with that right hand where it is, come into triangle. Left arm reaches straight down. Move the right shoulder back. Take the top arm and reach it up. Come all the way up into warrior two. Take your hands to your hips, turn your left foot forward. Come into a forward bend. Let the arms release. Relax the neck so the head hangs. Now begin to sway one side to the other. Come back to center. Take your hands to your hips, torso parallel to the floor, and come all the way up. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Take a look, line it up. Move that left hip back. Float your arms. Gaze is over the right fingertips. Bend the right knee. Feel where you are in space with that knee. See the aura just shooting off of your fingers. Once you see it once, you'll always be able to pick it up quite fast. And you can even play with it and direct it. Peaceful warrior. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Parshvottanasana. Top arm can be straight up or in line with the left side of the body. Torso and leg. Straighten that left arm. Engage that tricep even more so you can feel it. Spread the fingers on both hands. Take your right hand and reach it. And reach it forward. Set that arm down. Take the top arm. Reach it up and behind your lower back. And reach for the right thigh. Move the left shoulder back. If you can, look up. Start to straighten that right leg, releasing the right arm, moving the left ribs and left shoulder back. And take the left arm and reach it up. Come into warrior two. Take the hands to the hips. Turn the right foot in. Bring your feet together. Come on up onto the balls of the feet. Lower back down. Lift up. Lower down. Just keep going up and down. Get your balance here. Feel this. And observe as you're doing this. Feel what's going on with your ankles. Are they kicking out? Every time they kick out, it means a couple of things. One, you're unbalanced. Two, if they're always kicking out, then there's greater strength on the outsides of the legs than there are on the insides. So squeeze the legs and the ankles towards each other. Now hover. Raise it up a little higher. Come up a little higher. Lift up higher. Lift up even higher. Bring those heels up as high as you can. And then lower them down. Just move your knees. Take your left foot. Actually, I always start on the other side for you. I always take my left foot and your right foot. So I'll keep it the same for you. Take your right foot and lift it up. And just let it hang. Start to move it around. You're actually going to try to fall. Okay? Move this guy around and try to fall. Yeah. With those arms moving like you're falling all over the place. Set it down. Go to the other side. Do the same thing. You're going to reach that leg behind you. Reach it over without touching. Bring it forward. Take it up. Try to fall. And then set it down. Okay, let's come into a tree pose. Right foot lifts up. Place that foot either low or high, that is below the knee totally or above the knee totally. Foot does not touch the knee. The heel is stacked, so the heel is straight up, the toes are right underneath it. Knee, push the knee, your right knee back. Arms can be where you need them. If you have balance today, bring the hands to the heart. If you are wanting to grow branches, bring the arms up overhead. Set down into your mountain pose. And come to the other side. Place the left foot either low or high. Lift up through the sternum. Come into your pose. Observe your breath. come into Tadasana. Walk in place. Take your feet shoulder width apart and come on into Malasana. So it's that deep squat. Arms are inside of the legs. Palms are together. Now you work the torso. Lift the sternum. Try to lengthen the spine. Engage Mula Bandha. Release Mula Bandha. Engage, release. Engage, release. These are the perineal muscles, perineum. And you're squeezing them, you're relaxing them. So Mula Bandha, to Mula Bandha, it's a verb. Engage the perineal muscles. And then come on down. Use your hands. Do not land heavily on that tailbone. And then lay back on your back. I'm going to stay seated and talk you through this. Come on onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around. Just come into your Ananda Balasana. Hug those knees. Coming into happy baby pose. So the hands grab the outsides of the feet. And you can gently roll from side to side. Now, release your hands to the floor and take your legs straight up. If you have a block or a blanket or a bolster, you can put it underneath your sacrum. Just hang out in what we classically call Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. Slow your breathing down. Relax your legs as best you can. Now take your arms out to the side, bend your legs, bend your knees, and lower your knees to the right. We're not staying there very long, so come on back to center and go to the other side. And then come on back to center. Draw your knees in once again, hug them in, and then come on into your Shavasana. So straighten your legs out on the mat. If you want, put a blanket or bolster underneath your knees. Let the legs roll outwardly. Let the palms open up towards the ceiling. Eyes close. Breathing softens. Feel the crown of your head, the top of your head. And feel that area as though you are getting a shampoo before the cut. And how good it feels when someone massages your scalp. Now moving forward of that to the forehead. Soften all the muscles in your forehead. Let go of the wrinkles. Unfurl. Feel the area near the temples relax. The jaws soften, the cheeks and the chin release. Allow your throat and the sides of your neck to open up. Become aware of your shoulders. Allow them to drop and lower towards the mat, towards the floor. Become aware of your arms and let them become heavier and heavier. As you move from the top of the arms down, past the elbows, down the forearms, giving permission for all the muscles to relax and release. As you cross the wrists into the hands and become aware of the fingers. And then the fingertips. Place your attention on your fingertips. And imagine you can breathe in and out of those fingertips. And when you breathe into those fingertips, that's going all the way up your arms and feeding the rest of your body. And when you breathe out, it's going in the reverse route, exhaling right through the tips of the fingers. Feel what you feel in your fingertips. Now begin to move back up the arms, across the shoulders, and place your full attention on your chest, in the heart area. And here, breathe in and out of the heart area. And then let that go. And move back up. Through the neck. Up into the back of the head. Settling back onto the crown once again. And wherever you place your attention, you might notice a feeling. Bring your attention to your third eye. And beam a ray of love, a ray of compassion to anyone, to everyone. And now place your hands on your heart. And just lay there and feel. Now move your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bend your elbows and draw your knees in. And then roll to your right side into a comfortable fetal position. And then come on up to a seated pose. Joining your hands together at the heart, Anahata Chakra. Closing your eyes for a moment, going inside once again. Giving yourself a thank you. Feeling gratitude for who and what you are. For taking the time out to set your day. May you be blessed. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day.